For over half a century, humanity has looked up at the silver disk of the moon with romantic longing, dreaming of the day we would finally return to its shores. When the rockets burned for the Artemis II mission and carried 4 human souls across 400,000 kilometers of pitch-black void, the world cheered for what felt like a glorious new dawn of exploration. But in our collective euphoria, we have completely blinded ourselves to the horrific, mind-boggling reality of the abyss those astronauts were sent into. Strip away the beautiful poetry and the cosmic romance, and you are left with a chilling truth that the moon is not a majestic sanctuary. It is a lethal cosmic graveyard completely devoid of an atmosphere. Because there is absolutely no wind or weather to erode the environment, the surface isn't covered in soft, smooth sand like an earthly desert. Instead, the entire moon is blanketed in lunar regolith, a substance composed of billions of microscopic, razor-sharp shards of jagged glass. During the Apollo missions, this demonic dust statically clung to everything it touched, physically eating through the durable outer layers of heavy spacesuits. If an astronaut breathes in even a tiny fraction of this dust, it won't just make them cough. It permanently embeds itself deep within their lung tissue like cosmic asbestos, slowly and irreversibly suffocating them from the inside out long after they have stepped back inside their ship. But this microscopic glass storm is merely the introduction to the moon's unfiltered brutality. Without a protective atmospheric blanket, standing on the moon means your body is entirely exposed to the raw, punishing extremes of the universe. If you stand directly in the blazing lunar sunlight, you are instantly baked by temperatures soaring to a boiling 120 degrees Celsius. Yet, the moment you take just a single step backward into the pitch-black shadow of a crater, the temperature violently plummets to a bone-shattering minus 130 degrees Celsius. There is no insulating air or cooling breeze to bridge this gap, meaning a single step can mean the difference between boiling alive and instantly freezing solid. This hostile dead rock has spent 4 billion years being ruthlessly bombarded by lethal cosmic rays, making it one of the most radiation-heavy, unforgiving environments in our solar system. Yet knowing this, over 50 years ago, the heroic crews of the Apollo missions willingly walked right into this nightmare. When you look closely at the legendary lunar modules that carried those men to the surface, the jaw-dropping reality of their vulnerability is terrifying. To save precious weight, the metal walls separating those fragile human bodies from the absolute zero of a deadly cosmic vacuum were engineered to be no thicker than a few millimeters of metal. In the vast emptiness between the Earth and the Moon, tiny micrometeorites are constantly screaming through space at face-melting speeds of up to 70,000 kilometers per hour. If a single pebble the size of a grain of sand had pierced that ultra-thin metal hull, the instant drop in pressure wouldn't just rip the air out of the astronaut's lungs. Without a pressurized cabin, the physics of a vacuum would instantly cause the water inside their very flesh and blood to violently boil from the lack of pressure. There would be no rescue, no backup plan, and absolutely zero chance of survival. Even if the technology holds together, The true psychological horror of leaving Earth is the mind-crushing weight of absolute isolation. Consider the jaw-dropping perspective of the command module pilots like Michael Collins, who had to stay behind in orbit while his crewmates walked the surface. Every single time his spacecraft glided behind the far side of the moon, the massive, dense body of rock completely blocked out all incoming radio waves from Earth. For 48 agonizing minutes during every single orbit, the entire human race completely ceased to exist for him. He was utterly swallowed by the dark shadow of the moon, floating in a tiny metal tin, staring out into an infinite black void that stretches for billions of light years. If his engine had failed to ignite in that profound darkness, no one would have ever heard his final words, and no help could ever be sent. He wouldn't have gone out in a spectacular, fiery explosion. He would have simply orbited a dead world in deafening, horrifying silence until his life support finally ran out, making him the most isolated human being since the dawn of time. Now, after half a century of total silence, humanity is breaking the peace by sending living, breathing people back into this terrifying abyss. We sent the empty ghost ship of Artemis 1 to prove our machinery could endure the voyage. But machines do not bleed, and machines do not breathe. With Artemis 2, humans have flown further into the deep dark than anyone has traveled in 50 years. Our technology today is undeniably a marvel of modern engineering, stronger, smarter, and infinitely safer. But the universe has not changed one bit, and human flesh has received no upgrades. To even reach the moon, the crew had to plunge directly through the Van Allen belts, which are massive, invisible rings of highly concentrated, lethal radiation trapped by Earth's magnetic field. The moment they left that protective planetary shield, they were entirely defenseless against the volatile wrath and radiation of our own sun. As they looped around the far side of the moon, they too lost all communication, facing the exact same crushing, soul-testing isolation that Collins endured decades before. Looking out their windows, they could see the ancient frozen footprints of the Apollo astronauts still perfectly preserved on the surface, standing as a ghostly, frozen reminder of the few who managed to survive the void before them. But this flyby is just a prelude to a much darker, more terrifying descent. With upcoming missions like Artemis 4, we don't just plan to look out the window. We intend to land on the dead rock once again, but this time, we are targeting the lunar South Pole. This region is home to deep, nightmare-inducing craters cloaked in perpetual shadow, where freezing sunlight has not touched the surface in billions of years. We are preparing to lower ourselves into the absolute coldest, darkest corners the moon has to offer. We can build massive rockets, we can wear advanced suits of technological armor, and we can plant our proud flags on dead worlds to tell ourselves we are conquering space. But the mind-blowing reality is that space cannot be conquered. It can only be survived for a tiny, fleeting moment. From Apollo to Artemis, the terrifying truth remains exactly the same. We are fragile creatures made of nothing but water and bone, dangling over an infinite, indifferent abyss that does not care if we live or die. As we push out into this great dark sea, we are forced to face the reality of just how small, how fragile, and how utterly alone we truly are.